Urban planning for Afghanistan local governments. Afghanistan, beautiful and mountainous country which has been constantly under news for the wrong reasons in the recent past. Its history as a country is about 300 years old, but it has been playing a key role in the regions since 2 millennia. Afghanistan's history, internal political development, foreign relations and very existence as an independent state have largely been determined by its geographic location. Over the centuries, waves of migrating people passed through the region, leaving behind a mosaic of ethnic and linguistic groups. Though the cities in Afghanistan have a strong cultural and historic legacy, the recent conflicts have destroyed their development pattern, and cities are now challenged to accommodate returning populations and are becoming crowded and disorganized. This state of affairs needs to be changed, for which conscious efforts in the field of urban planning are required. Along with increasing urbanization, urban poverty is also growing due to economic vulnerability. Due to the erratic nature of urban employment in the absence of formal employment in organized sector, the plight of urban poor is miserable. Rapid urbanization is posing serious problems before the municipal administration in delivering effective and efficient services to the inhabitants of cities in general and urban poor in particular. The planning of urban areas needs to be inclusive so as to accommodate needs and aspirations of various disadvantaged groups. The Afghanistan Municipal Strengthening Program, AMSP, supported by USAID, ICMA and UMC, aims to strengthen the capacity of the municipal level government in selected provincial capital cities located primarily in southeastern Afghanistan. One of the components of the AMSP is to develop and implement Strategic Municipal Action Plans, SMAPs. As a bottom-up, local stakeholder-driven process, SMAP advances the Ministry of Urban Development, MOUD and Independent Directorate of Local Governments, IDLG's objectives of decentralizing planning and decision-making and increasing citizen participation in local government affairs. Municipal law and urban planning. In Afghanistan, the policies and acts are normally formulated by central government. To ensure balanced regional development, the Ministry of Urban Development is in the process of preparing regional plans. An independent directorate for local governance, IDLG, was established in 2007 to provide good governance at subnational level. The Central Ministry of Urban Development prepares master plans or development plans for cities in Afghanistan. Responsibilities of the municipalities include construction of canals and ditches, solid waste management, supervision of parks, preservation of green areas, paving roads, cultural services, and expansion of food markets. In cooperation with other line ministries, municipalities can also indirectly be involved in the construction of the city sewage system, water supply, construction of prefabricated apartments, city power, communications, public health, education and sports. Urban planning processes and development plans. Development plans are statutory planning policy documents which focus on spatial land use development and building control, taking into consideration social, economic, and environmental trends. They reflect national and regional planning policies and make strategic provisions for the long-term use of land and buildings. They aim to ensure that land use changes proceed coherently, efficiently, and with maximum community benefit. However, it has been seen that preparation and approval of a development plan demands lengthy political processes. Meanwhile, due to growing populations and real estate demand, cities continue to grow without legal approvals. This leads to haphazard growth of cities without urban services. The Strategic Municipal Action Plan is a 5 to 10 year action plan that lays out detailed proposals for implementation of priorities by the local governments. These SMAPs, although are not statutory processes, they provide important inputs to the development plan process. These proposals could range from infrastructure investment projects, institutional reforms, capacity building to improved governance and urban management. Any planning process, be it short-term or long-term, requires an updated base map of the city to understand the existing physical situation of the city. Preparing the base map. Afghanistan cities lack accurate and updated maps. Reasonably accurate base maps can be prepared using satellite images as a base and further integrating information from aerial photographs, revenue maps or government's survey department records. For accurate land use information, ground truthing survey needs to be undertaken. The survey helps mark land uses like residential, commercial, industrial, public and semi-public buildings on the map. Landmarks, street names and water bodies are also marked. These land uses are depicted with appropriate color codes and symbols. For preparation of a SMAP, data regarding the city's demographics, current level of service delivery like water supply, drainage, trash collection, power supply, roads and street lights needs to be collected from government departments. Adequacy of social infrastructure like schools, healthcare, gardens and open spaces needs to be determined. Also, the city's budget, expenditure and revenue streams need to be analyzed for ascertaining the financial health of the city. The consultations with businessmen, traders, farmers and citizens reveal the main economic base of the city. Inputs from other stakeholders like women groups, civic society, academia, cultural groups, health workers, engineers and eminent citizens also need to be incorporated. The above consultations help the planning team to formulate priorities for social and physical infrastructural needs for the next 5 to 10 years. This becomes a blueprint for the city to access funding sources for specific developmental projects and to serve as a guide for successive governments. Preparation of a development plan is a statutory planning process in most countries, including India. The planning process has been further decentralized to a sub-city level known as a ward or neighborhood in India. A development plan process includes preparation of land use and zoning plan, developmental control regulations and implementation proposals. Preparation of a development plan involves series of surveys and studies to analyze the problems and issues facing the city. Demographic studies indicate the trend of population growth and occupational classification. Survey of industries helps identify the problems that are faced by industries and the environmental problems created by them. Housing survey helps understand the quality and adequacy of housing stock available for current and projected populations. Trade and commerce studies indicate trends in the commercial activity in the town. The share of agricultural, manufacturing and service sectors in the gross domestic product of the city highlights the city's economic base. Land use zoning. Land use zoning means the allocation of city areas into categories such as agricultural, water bodies, residential, commercial, industrial, etc. Zoning defines these geographical areas and sets out limitations on the use of land. Planning for the city traffic. This requires elaborate studies and surveys to find out the current traffic and transportation. A comprehensive inventory of roads and functional classification of streets also needs to be developed. Proposals for road improvements and laying new roads are prepared. Planning for public utilities such as water supply, sewage, electricity, etc. to indicate the areas which are covered and areas which do not have access to these services. Proposals for provision of improved services to current and projected populations are prepared. Planning for social services. Schools, hospitals, parks, playgrounds, recreational centers, community buildings, shopping, entertainment centers, post, telegraph and telephone facilities, etc. are estimated for projected population. Reservation of land for public purposes. The development plan also reserves land for provision of utilities and amenities for future needs of the city. Environmental protection and development planning. In the process of preparation of development plan, strategies need to be devised for reshaping or protecting built and natural environment. A development plan includes the map and the report of development plan. In Afghanistan, the Ministry of Urban Development is in the process of issuing zoning ordinances which will regulate zoning and density in urban areas. The ministry has already finalized engineering and architectural control regulations for buildings. These should form a part and parcel of Development Control Regulations (DCR) to be incorporated in the development plans. Initiatives of the MOUD, IDLG and the roadmap charted out in the Afghanistan National Development Strategy have set the wheel of development rolling. A lot still needs to be done, and a comprehensive planning process will accelerate the progress of this beautiful nation, Afghanistan.